Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. Today it's October 5th, and I'm looking at my vegetable planting guide, and it says that we're well into garlic planting time. Now, these planting guides to me are kind of just guideline. It's intuition. I finally got tired of looking at it. It says plant my garlic uh, up until, well, from the 1st of September to the middle of October. Now, you can plant it a little later than that. You plant much earlier than that, you might have a problem. But anyway, what I'm doing is when you go to plant garlic, and this is my elephant garlic, I have two kinds, but the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to break this apart. Now, don't worry about getting all the skin off the outside, this little thin membrane stuff. You just want to, and I get enough of it that it's just not going to make a mess, but you just want to separate your cloves out, and this is done pretty easy when your garlic's dry. But in the same process while you're separating out these cloves, you want to make sure that you don't have any bad or soft cloves or some that's got mold or mildew or something on them. And on some of these cloves, this one here is a little bit hard to separate. On some of these cloves now, it might peel the membrane off of it. Now this has actually broke the bottom off, and I don't think that'll grow. This piece here is actually one whole clove because this was an earlier garlic, and what I'm going to do is I'll just throw that over there. But what I was trying to do was maybe find one that wasn't so healthy. We went through these fairly late in the season when we finally took out the garlic that we were going to preserve to make sure it kept, and so we took out all the bad ones. And I have two types of garlic. I have another one right here. This is my old, that's a couple of different kinds in here, but this is the elephant garlic, which is the big bulbs, and I'm kind of keeping them separate. But a lot of this has got soft. Now, when I went through here, I tried to pick some that I thought had good cloves in it still, and by feeling of it, and there might be a few like that one's good. That's good. These are kind of small. Now when you plant smaller cloves, but you see how a lot of these are brown and stuff like that, we're not going to want those. Now, but we can still plant these small cloves, but if you're limited space, you want to plant bigger cloves so you've got bigger garlic. And because your bigger cloves are going to produce a bigger bulb in the end. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to separate the rest of these because the ones that I think this has got a little discolor, but it's good and solid. That's one that I'll plant. But like I say, if they start to feel soft or something like that, don't bother planting them. This one here's got a place on it where it's starting to rot. Don't bother putting those in the ground, especially if you have limited space. And it takes a little bit longer to go through these and make sure that they're good. But the main thing is that you have good, I would say, good seed to go in the ground. So anyway, I'm going to continue to do this, and then we'll get out to plant. Now, I have done these videos before, but for you newer people that don't tend to go back, I'm going to do this, and in case something's changed since the last time I did one of these videos, we'll give you updated my new preferred method on it. So anyway, I'm going to continue to do this. Now, I'm sure we don't all need 12.5 pounds of garlic cloves. And elephant garlic cloves are big. But one thing I want to stress is when you start saving you plant you enough that you can save your seed, because you'll never have to buy your garlic, seed garlic again. And when you go to plant these, it's just going to be a matter of, well, if we could see, get an angle of that, but it's just a matter of open up a hole, put it in, just put it to where the top is just below the ground. Some people want to stick the little stem out, which is fine too. You can bury it half an inch or inch below, it's fine too. But it's just a matter of sticking them in there. Now what I've got is, I just lay them out. My bed is 2 foot wide, and I put these at 6 inches down in here. My rows are 6 inches apart, and I put my cloves about 6 to 8 inches along each row. And this has worked out great. It keeps them pretty tight in there. They still make good full bulbs, and you can expect to get a good harvest out of it. Now, once we do this, we will water it in. It's important that they do have moisture. Now, last year I kind of messed up. I wanted my garlic not to get stunted when it got real cold, so I put a row cover over it. Now, if you're further north, you might really need to do that, but down here in Zone 8B, we don't really need to do that. If it does, it might burn the tips, but it's not going to really affect them that way. But what happened was, I think it kept them too warm, and not my elephant garlic, it went ahead and sent up scapes, but my other garlic didn't, and it didn't form very good bulbs, and they didn't store very well. And I'm going to blame it on the fact that I kept them under row cover quite a bit, but I'll do it a little different this year. But anyway, I hope this is helpful. I hope you can get your garlic crop in. Now, if you're way up north, a lot of you don't plant until in the spring because your ground freezes too hard. But down here in the south, what we try to do is we try to get it in the ground long enough, early enough that it starts to come up. It gets 6 inches to a foot, good start, before we start getting our frost and freeze and stuff like that. But anyway, if you want to see more, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified. Give it a big thumbs up, and happy gardening.